taking forever to go live now. You see how it takes forever to do
Does,
this? I
yeah, it does take a little while.
It used to be
I mean,
quicker than
yeah, usually that gives us time to like say random stuff before it goes live.
right. But hey, everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So you're probably streaming on my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. If you are, thanks for tuning in. All right, so that's my YouTube channel right here. Or you're probably streaming live on Justin's YouTube channel, Chaplain's Logs, Chaplain's Log. Right. So wherever you're streaming from, you're probably streaming on my Facebook page, Sean Christopher Jenkins. Right. My LinkedIn page, I'm also streaming Sean Christopher Jenkins. I'm also streaming on my Twitter page, my X page, troubledontlast right here. So yeah, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. I got the best social media platforms ever. All right, I got a treat for you guys today. So on my YouTube channel, Uplift Past Crossroads, every time we do a video, we hit you guys with a playlist of whatever the video can go at. You know, you get what I'm saying? So if the video is suited for a certain playlist, then we put that video on the playlist. All right, and so you want to go to this playlist. This is one of my favorite playlists on my channel. All right, so one of my favorite playlists is titled Life Verses. So this is when we talk about a scripture verse that relates to our life. A life verse is a verse that, you know, it describes your relationship with God. It's a verse that God gave you a revelation about, and from that revelation, you applied it to your life, and you done seen the evidence and the fruits behind what happens when you apply the Bible to your life. Like, so a life verse is a text that you really understand. Justin, you want to say what a life verse is? Like, what is a life verse to you? I should just let you do it.
Yeah, I feel like a life verse is like something that resonates with you, something that you feel like God is speaking to you about. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of times it gives you direction, it gives you purpose, like gives you, I don't know, it's just something that you feel resonates with the path that you're on. And sometimes it's something you carry your whole life. Sometimes it's in a certain chapter of your life.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's a life verse. It's a verse that God just teaches you in a certain season. Yeah. It changes your life, right? Something you can always live off of, like to enhance your faith in whatever seasons that's going to come your way. And so I'm gonna hit you guys with a life verse. That's a life verse for me, right? And so Justin has done videos on. Have you even done a video on what a life verse for you yet?
Shoot, I feel like we have, but
right.
For the life of me, I can't think of one right now.
I should look right now. So I called you out. So let you come up with one. Well, I'm not gonna look.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe we've started on other studies, but then I interject a life verse that I have into the lesson.
Okay.
I think maybe that's what we've done.
Well, I'm writing down one for you because James 3:3-6 is one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like Proverbs 17:22 as well. I feel like we talked about that one. I just can't remember if we done a whole lesson on it.
You said 17:21?
22.
17:22. Really? I don't know if we've done that one. Proverbs 17:22.
We've done so many proverbs, I lose count.
A joyful heart is good medicine?
Yeah.
Really? No, we haven't done that one, man.
Oh yeah. I guess we haven't. Yeah. I think I interjected it into a lesson.
Okay. Well, see, you be shortchanging me, man. You be doing lessons on your own in private. That's Justin. He always does Bible studies. He does Bible studies and stuff, but it's just with people.
Yeah, I do need to do my own videos sometimes. Like I have a list of ideas. I just like, man, everything like, I say I'm busy, but man, that's just an excuse.
Right. That's our next videos. That's our next 2 videos. I got it written down now. So yeah. This person's back again. What's up? How you doing? On YouTube. The guy he knows. Appreciate you joining in again. All right. So here goes my life verse, guys. You ready? All right. So this is a verse that God has literally I saw it, and when I saw it, it changed my life. So this is how it became a life verse for me. Like when I saw it, I knew instantly I could receive this if I just prayed about it. Like, and that's what you should do with scripture verses, guys. Like anytime you come across a scripture verse and you want what that scripture verse promised, and you want to hold God accountable to it, pray about it. Like, don't just read it and like, I wish. Like, no, pray about it. Ask God for it. So when God does it for you, He gets the glory, right? You're holding God accountable to His word, and He has to do what He promised in His word, right? Especially if you ask, right? Asking it shall be given. Seeking you should find. Knocking the door will be open unto you. To those who have not, they ask not, right? And so if you ask with faith, you'll receive it, right? So like this is how the Bible works. So like one of the scripture verses for me is Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. This is my life verse. Like this is a verse that I read back in college. And this is when I told you guys I was single just pretty much all my life. Like I didn't date around or anything. And so when I was in college, I used to cry myself asleep to sleep every night because I had nobody to love me and I had so much love to give. Like I just wanted to be married. I wanted to be more in a relationship. I wanted my wife. Like I wanted Maya, but like I didn't know who she was. Like I just know I wanted my wife, right? My other half. And this is the text. This is why a man feels like that. So if you feel like something's missing, like a part of you is missing, and you don't play around with other women and you can't, like there's always been a limit with me with women. Like I play around for a split second, like just talking game or something. But as soon as like push come to shove, I'm not the type of person like to play with your feelings and like to like, especially like to like use you and then take advantage of you and then just leave you hanging. I'm not that type of person. I can't do it. So like here goes the verse, guys. So it's Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And so this is what the text reads. It says, the Lord God said, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. I'm gonna keep on going. There's other versions from the New Living Translation. Then the Lord said, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him. All right. The ESV reads, I will make him a helper fit for him. It keeps on going. The King James, I will make him a helpmate for him. Right? It gets better and better. The New King James Version reads, I will make him a helper comparable to him. I'm gonna keep on going. Y'all think this is over? The Amplified Bible says, I will make him a helper, one who balances him, counterpart who is suitable and complementary to him. Right? Mm. So the thing with this text was when I used to read it was, yeah, it's not good for a man to be alone. That's all I felt was alone. All I felt was something was missing. All I felt was I knew something more could be had. And that's the thing, like it's a misconception. Like I told you guys in the video before me and Justin did, like God's preparing you for the next level right now in the season that you're in. Like God's not gonna let you go to the next level until you learn what you need to learn in this season, until you obtain what you need to attain for you to be ready and prepared for what's gonna happen in the next season. So like for me as the husband, right? Like before I even got married, before I even got in a relationship with my wife, like when she was my fiance and girlfriend, right? Like God had to, there's a pruning process. And one of the things he had to prune was for me, it's just the mentality is that I need somebody to be whole. I need somebody to be complete. I need somebody to be happy. You don't until you're comfortable being that's not alone. Until you're comfortable when it's just you and God and you're content and satisfied with that and thankful, then God will give you somebody else because God's not going to put his children in a position. Some people are different, right? Some children go through this, right? But like for me, he didn't put me in a position to where I could be in a relationship and I was clingy, dependent, and I always needed that person. And if that person left me, I'll commit suicide. Now that's how it was with my ex. I was like that, right? And that's what God was pruning out of me. Like he didn't want me to. He had to teach me the lesson like that you don't let a person control that much of you or have that much of you, right? The only person that I need to depend on like that for my life and livelihood and all that stuff is God, right? So my wife is just another piece of the puzzle, essentially. Like, don't make your wife or your husband bigger than what they are. Like, they're an important piece. Actually, they're the most important part in your life, if we're being honest, right? But they're not your everything, right? You gotta learn how to compartmentalize your life where it belongs, right? Your wife and husband has the most important role out of everybody in life. I would say that, but that they come second fiddle to God. Like so, it's not good for a man to be alone. I was never alone in college. Just I'll let you go. I know you got something you want to say.
I don't think. Yeah, just to put onto there, I like that's a lot of pressure to like put all your happiness on one person as well. Because I was reading who was it? Tim Keller, I think, on a case like his marriage book, and I really like his saying of like mutual sacrifice for mutual benefit. Like a lot of times we go into marriage thinking, what can this other person do for me? Like we make a marriage contract like a selfish thing. But so we'll do like I'll do half, you do the other half. No, like each person needs to be giving in like 100% to a relationship. Like I'll give 100%, she'll give 100%. Like some days she might not be feeling well, especially during the pregnancy. So yeah, I like that thing you put down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Like some days, like we're in a season where her pregnancy just makes her feel terrible. So I've had to take on more stuff, and like that's not like I feel like that's how God intended, just for us to complement each other. But we can't like give 50% and then just rely on the other person for our happiness, because that's like a lot on that.
Right.
Like um, in the verse that like all the versions Sean showed, I think one translation will also have helper as like help meet. And what
Mm-hmm.
that basically means is like someone who helps meet the other person's needs.
Mm.
And through some like marriage classes my wife and I have been through, it's like that's a big part. Like we have like these love languages, things that make us feel loved. So we have to be very well of like what the needs are. Like God recognized the needs of Adam. God recognized the needs of like Sean and myself. Like our spouses aid in meeting our needs in the same way that we also need to aim to meet their needs as well. So like it's very complementary. It's like something very beautiful. But because of that, we also should not be putting so much weight or burden on another person's shoulders of like making us happy all the time.
Right. You made me think about it. One of my favorite chapters in the Bible is First of all, the whole book of First Corinthians is one of my favorites because I've done verse by verse Bible studies with it, and I actually did those verse by verse Bible studies with Justin. Right. So like that's what I recommend people do. Like if you're studying the Bible, go verse by verse, chapter by chapter, and really try to understand what's going on in that chapter. So like when you see a verse, you can really understand what's happening in that verse, like in detail, of why the author wrote that in and what's really going on. Like the context is everything, right? So one of my favorite verses is First Corinthians chapter 7. Like it starts off in First Corinthians 7. Yeah, let me go ahead and read it. I'm gonna just share my screen, right? First Corinthians 7, it reads, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. See, in the Corinthian church, see in First Corinthians, the whole book, right? Somebody wrote a whole letter to Paul asking him questions that the Corinthian church had that they were going through. And with these questions, Paul was writing a whole letter back answering them, right? And so at the beginning of each and every single chapter in First Corinthians, you'll see him say, now concerning something, now concerning this, now concerning that. This is something a question he's addressing that the woman wrote for the whole entire church body from Corinth that they had, right? Or stuff that was going on that Paul needs to, recommend what to do or what God wants them to do in the situation. And so some people thought that it was better to be single, to not touch a woman at all. So they looked at people who were celibate or who were virgins as holier than people who were married and having sex. And Paul was like, that's not right. Like he said, like just logically, guys, like that sounded weird, right? See, that's what some Christians do. Like some Christians try to twist things. Like some people, even today, some people think that preaching is better than just having faith, right? So that person's holier and more. God uses them more than somebody that just has faith or help people. Like they're nothing, right? That's not true, right? And so Paul had to address this. This is what he said. Now, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife had not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, see, men think that they're dominant and they're the lead and they can just control everything. Here's what Paul said. He said, likewise, also husbands have not power on his own body, but the wife. See, men had privileges back then that women didn't, especially in that time period, right? A lot more than today, right? And so men got away with things that women could never get away with. So women, if you sleep with another man and you're a whore, stuff like that, you guys know, right? Then you're going to be judged more harshly than a man who's like more promiscuous and sleeping around and stuff. So like, but like with the Bible, with Christians, believers, like no, like it's the same for both of y'all. The standard's the same. Like Your body's her body's your body. Like y'all are committed to each other to meet each other's needs, to give each other what you both asked for and signed up for, right? And that's verse 5. This is one of my favorite verses. This is actually a life verse too. We should definitely do this one. 1 Corinthians 7 from the King James Version reads, defraud ye not one the other, except it be for a consent time, right? That ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt ye not for your inconsistency. So, like with inconsistency, that just means I gotta look up what that word means because I couldn't find it on Google when that first happened, but I'm sure I can find it now. But like basically, Satan's gonna you're giving him a way to tempt you and to cause your relationship to crumble and come to ruin and not have God's peace and all those stuff, right? You can, Satan can tempt you and distract you with other temptations, right? Other things you want. If both of y'all two ain't meeting each other's need and you're both defrauding each other, right? Y'all are married to have sex. Like, that's it. Like, your wife should expect and know that that's your role to give your man sex. Same thing for the man. Like, you're called to give your woman sex. Now, some people's sex drive is more than other people's, but like a lot of people shut it down, like when the other person asking for it or need it. But like in a marriage, like don't defraud each other. If you know the other person needs something, you're called to make sacrifices to show them the love that they want, right? So like, yeah, it's on you to figure out how that is, how that's gonna work in y'all relationship. Because my relationship is different than your relationship. My marriage is different than your marriage. We are two different people, right? Me and my wife. So like, you see what I'm saying? But the whole point is don't defraud each other, right? Unless y'all both are fasting and praying and asking God for a specific thing, or y'all just need space. But that don't mean y'all don't come together. He even said, but he said you're gonna come together again. Like that's the whole point. Don't defraud each other unless you gonna come together again. Unless it's gonna bring y'all closer to each other, right? So like, it's so much stuff with that. Like, so yeah, Justin. After you said what you said, I thought about that first. But it also goes back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. Like, let me pull it up real quick. All right. So the life verse for today, it is not good for a man to be alone. Like, you can't do life with everybody. You can't be married to everybody. Like, I used to think, like, John MacArthur once said, he's a famous pastor. They call him the modern day Paul, right? He said that any Christian could be married to any Christian and it'll work. And that's a no, because like, no, that's not true. Like there's a series on my YouTube channel called False Quotes. Like I have a playlist for that. And that'll be one of the videos for that, like false quotes that people say. Like, Justin, do you believe a Christian can be with any Christian can be with any Christian and it works out? Like in a
no.
Like,
and I've talked to my wife about this too. Because when she was looking for someone to date when she became a Christian, like she was a baby Christian, she just thought like she's just looking for a Christian. So, but she later realized like different Christians are different facets of like God's image. They're all going to be like very different. So I feel like, and one of the versions of the verse that you had like complimentary in there. I think it was like Amplified Bible or Amplified version or something like that. But I like that because different people are going to complement each other in different ways. So I do feel like there has to be a certain level of like complementary or resonance or like teamwork that a couple needs to have. It can't just be like Christian to Christian, which is important, but it's not all there is to it.
Right. It's the starting place. But there's a lot of other factors too, right? Amplified Bible. All right, I got pulled up. I'm pretty sure I spelled amplified wrong, but all right. So yeah, so guys, so the life verse is Genesis 2:18 is not good or beneficial for alone. Like you can marry and still be alone, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can still be alone even when you're with family. Like, so guys, like I won't even say if you're with the wrong people. Like you can be with the right person and still feel alone if you two ain't meeting each other's needs, right? So like you have to be really cautious as to who you come into a relationship with. And this is just relationship advice. This is not even marriage advice. Like you have to really be careful who you date. Like not everybody, Jesus even said it. He said you don't give your precious pearls to pigs. Like not everybody deserves your love, not everybody deserves your time. Not everybody knows what to do with you or will accept you for who you are. Like One of the dumbest things I did, Justin, I don't know if you ever did. You ever try to be something you're not just to be with somebody, like in a
Yeah.
relationship?
I think a lot of people do that. Yeah.
Right, especially like in the dating game, like all these dating apps, like you try to act like something you're not, but then you get something that you're not, right? Because you're in a marriage, you're literally this is a marriage. This is what God intended marriage to be. It's literally not just a reflection of you, but a marriage, whoever you're coming into contact with, they're essentially your rib, right? That's what you're saying they are. Like you're saying to God, this is my rib, this is my other half, this is somebody who complements me, who's comparable to me, who's suitable for me. Like, but you had to act like something you're not to get them. That's really sad because then you got to keep on acting like something you're not for all of life, and that's not possible. That's not feasible. That only lasts for so long, right? So like it's better just to be something that you are, to be like you are, to get, be yourself, to get whatever you're looking for, right? And so that's literally like this is why this is my life verse. Like there's just so many ways to take Genesis 2:18. Like it's not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helper, one who balances him, a counterpart who is suitable and complementary to him. Like, and you saw the different versions: a helper suitable for him, a helper corresponding to him in the Christian Standard Bible, a helper as his complement. Right? You guys see it, and I like how Duval. I did a video on this. I think I probably need to do another one just focusing on it. But I did a video, Justin. I talked about how Duval said like he knew how much I wanted to be married. He knew how much I was waiting on my wife, and I didn't play games in college. Like I was literally just focused on God, school, and just preparing for my wife. And Duval was like, Sean, man, like he said, you do the high jump, right? So I did the high jump in track. So and he knew that. So he said, you did the high jump, right? I said, yeah. He said, how many attempts you get to jump the high jump bar before you're out? I said, 3. And he said, so if you get out on the 3rd attempt, you're out, right? You can't jump no more? Yep. Like, so he's like, how many winners are there in the high jump? 1. Like, so people are jumping, competing against each other until somebody can jump the highest height and they win. Yeah. And they get 3 attempts each, right? Yeah. And he said, that's the dating game, Sean. He said, like, when it comes to the woman that God got for you, like, it's a competition. He said, women are fighting and vying to be with you, right? And he said, but it's a weaving out process. He says, as soon as, he said, there can only be one winner. He said, and she's going to be known, and you're going to know she's the one because she's going to jump higher than everybody else. She's going to be the only one in the competition doing things to meet your needs because she's the only one who can meet the standards that you set, because that's the high jump bar. I want you guys to see a visual just in case you don't know what the high jump is. It's not the pole vault. A lot of people confuse the pole vault with the high jump. The high jump is when you literally run with your body and it's just your body and you jump over the bar, right? And so in the Olympics, the men jump between 7'4" to 7'6" to 8 feet. That's how high they jump. That's the record. But that guy took steroids. But everybody jumped pretty much 6, 7, 8, 7, 10, 7, 6 in the Olympics. And this is what it looked like when they jump over the bar. They just run with their bodies and jump over the bar just like that. Like, and so so I did the high jump. So I could only jump 6'8". That was my personal record. But I pretty much was a 7-foot jumper. Like that's it. So I wasn't going to no Olympics, right? I wish I was, but no, I don't, because like their workouts suck. I would never want to do the practice workout. No, it's like worse than being a slave, right? So like, but like the women could jump between 6'4" to 6'8". Like that's the 6'8's their record, probably 6'10" now. But that's what the women can jump in the Olympics, right?
Dang, that's high.
Right. Yeah. And so when it comes to the high jump guys, there can only be one winner. And that's love, that's relationships, that's marriage advice. Like there can only be one winner to whoever's gonna love you. And the one winner is your puzzle piece, right? That's what Duval used to call it, my friend. He said that.
Oh, I like that.
Right. He said whoever God got for you is the one that fits the puzzle. They fit the mold. Like they're the one that makes everything make sense, right? And when they come into your life, they're the ones that complement, they're suitable for, they fit perfectly you and your whole life story and everything. Like you don't have to force it. So how many people are trying to force love, trying to force people to be in a relationship with them? Like that's awful. Like whoever God has for you is for you, and nobody else is as suitable as fit, as complimentary to be with that person other than you. And you'll know when you know. Like that's how it was. Yeah, Justin, this is good advice. This is good advice to give to them. I know you can attest to it. Like with me and Maya, like everything the second time around was the best time. Like because we talked back in college, but like we didn't really communicate with each other. That's why it didn't work out. Because like we were both scared. I never met. It's my fault. Like I didn't make the move as a man. But like Maya, like she did a lot for her, right? She's so quiet and shy. But the second time around was the best time because like we didn't force anything. It just flowed. We both knew what each other wanted just by the look. And we got confirmation just by our actions, just by our continual conversations. Like we used to talk 8 to 16 hours a day, just be on the phone, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was forever. Like the first 3 months, 4 months, like really making sure, like, is this what we both want? Because like we both knew, like, whoever in a relationship next, like this is it. Like we ain't playing no games. Like we already done did that stuff before. Like we want the real thing. Like, do you want the real thing too? So like the foundation was already there. Like we were setting the foundation. Right. So like I keep on going, but you guys see like we both wanted the same thing, so we complement each other. We say it all the time, like I'm the sun and she's the moon. Like the sun can't function without the moon can't function without the sun. And they both have a role to play. So like the sun may shine bright and everybody may give attention to the sun, right? But with the moon, like the ocean wave, it keeps the ocean waves at bay. It keeps the tides in order. The moon does a lot. It does as much as the sun. So I'll stop talking because it's messing up. But just I'll let you go ahead, man.
Yeah, I do like yeah, I like that you and Maya kind of like were discussing what you wanted because it's I don't know. Sometimes I just see a lot of people playing games when they're dating or like testing each other. Like that's something that kind of annoys me on all these TikTok challenges are like testing your mates. And like there are just some couples who don't want any of that. Like you're going to have plenty of opportunities to like see what a person is all about. You don't need to like have these weird orange pilling tests or whatever's trending on TikTok. It's like, oh, it's I don't know. It's like it almost seems like tricking the boyfriend into seeing like what they'll do. I don't like that. That's like I don't have time to play those games. But I think that is good though because it is a very I don't know, like marriage is like a very serious thing that we have to like prepare for as well. So you have to find like someone who's real with you. And like I like what you were saying. It's like you can't like of course you grow and you change for because you love somebody. Um but you don't like I don't know, I don't know how to put it. You don't pretend you're something you're not for somebody. And like that completely hinders your growth as well. We talked about like growing in marriage, growing as a person. Like marriage is not the end, it's like the beginning, especially like where you can grow together. If you're faking a mask or if you're faking yourself as a person, you can't like your real self doesn't have a chance to grow because your real self is not being shown. So I think that's very important to like skip those games and like treat marriage and dating as serious as they need to be. And I think like God in all of his knowledge knew that Adam needed someone that would be able to assist him. Like it's like from like Adam during his time saw like he was naming animals. He saw all the animals like come together, I'm sure in pairs or with their helpmates. And God saw that he needed someone who would be there for him as well. Like God didn't play games. God didn't like put Eve through any tests. Like they were able to like complement and aid each other before the fall. So I think that's really important. And I just like the imagery that God took Eve from one of Adam's ribs. Like someone was saying like he didn't take her from Adam's head so she could stand above him or from the foot so Adam can stand above her, but from the side so that they can stand and rule together. And I think a lot of people accuse the Bible or accuse Christians of saying like like if men are taking the leadership role, then they're like oppressing women. But that's like not the point. It's to celebrate like the differences, the things that that they're able to like complement each other for. Like men and women are different biologically, emotionally, spiritually, and that's not a bad thing. Like that allows you to complement each other. Like if God just gave Adam like someone who was exactly like him, they wouldn't get any extra work done. They'd just be doing more of the same thing. But because they complement each other, because they had those differences, then they're able to do what neither one of them could do by themselves. And I think that's like very important to acknowledge, like what God was trying to find. Like, I won't repeat myself too much because I already said it in the other video, but a lot of times we try to, I guess, like new age feminism. I feel like earlier feminism was trying to encourage and uplift women on like an equal playing field, which is important for like voting, for having a voice. I feel like new age feminism sometimes like to tear men down though, and that's not what like equality or what the Bible is trying to teach as well. It's we celebrate and encourage those differences because women don't need to be as good as men in like the same areas. They're already great at like so many areas that I know we're terrible at for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love I love the imagery of like the rib is taken from the side because we're supposed to stand side by side. Like they can be in different ways, but we're still supposed to roll together.
Yeah. I want to answer this person's question.
Oh,
Trying
what's
to figure
the
out what
question?
they meant by it. They said, "Are wait, those differences are good."
Mm. I think they are because I wish I had like a good example. I at least for parenting, I know like Sean and I are about to enter the realm of dadhood, and it's I already know like my wife is very emotionally mature. Like she's very spiritually mature. Like I'm also spiritually mature, but in like different areas, I think. Um, and I think that's great. I think that will definitely help aid in raising a child because you actually a lot of research is coming out nowadays that's showing that a child born in like a fatherless home is like I forgot what percentage. It's like 17% more likely to end up like in jail. But oh, I'm sorry, that's 17 is they're more likely to end up in jail or committing a crime before they're 17 years old. And I'm sure, like I haven't seen the research, but I'm sure like being in a motherless home um, also causes like some problems for development as well. Like at least for some of my friends who I know who are like single fathers who are widowers, like their kids have had to learn to like grow up a little faster to help take care of the house. So they're missing out on some of that development of it as well. So I'm not saying like all women are the same to each other and all men are the same to each other. But I will say like when you complement each other, you do bring different things to the table that are very important.
Right.
I wish I had like a good example. I'll let you go, Sean, because I feel like I need to think about that a little more too.
Yeah, you can think about it. I mean, but I think they got their answer question, the question answered.
Mm.
I'm scared to talk. They keep on messing up. Like, do you hear it?
Yeah, a little bit. You
Oh,
turned on your volume to take down the take out the reverb.
yeah. I turned it. I turned down. I had to turn on me and yours. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I just think it reached this threshold. Is it bad, guys? Like, yeah, it's not bad. I don't have to ask.
A little bit.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you finish the video, man.
I don't know.
Nobody,
Can you hear me all right?
yeah, everybody can hear you. You're fine.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think oh, let's see. Oh, there's another question. Yeah, it's because the father isn't there to teach them how to be a man. Yeah, that's true too. Um, I think that's yeah, I think and if it's a single father, the woman isn't there to teach the children how to treat women. Probably. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I think that is important for like men, is to like learn how to treat women properly. Um, but yeah, I think we do kind of. I've noticed like when I got married to my wife, I know we're trying to get rid of like what's that term, like gender roles.
Hmm.
And I don't really know much about that, so I can't say for sure. But I have found that my wife and I fall into we just kind of naturally fell into our own responsibilities. Like I'll do like I like I fix the fence, I build the chicken coop, I mow the lawn. It's like things like it naturally came to me. It's not because like I think it's like man's work. It's just like stuff that um I'm able to do that she's not. And then like she's been busy on like, man, she's done such a great job and like putting, I guess, like a woman's touch on the nursery and like figuring out where some things need to be organized, and it just looks amazing. Um, I'm not sure where I was going. I guess I'm just complimenting my wife. But like there was also another study. So I always say studies like a nerd. But like there was a study in the UK that found like single people were opposed to like gender roles, but like married people, like there was a higher percentage of married people who were pro like spouse roles, I guess. Like they didn't have like masculine and feminine roles, but they supported the notion of roles because like having something you're good at and like sticking with that, like they found aided in their situation a lot better. I feel like a lot of days we're trying to rob the differences that make us special and for as a husband and wife by trying to show that each person is just as good as the others at doing the same thing. But I don't need to be like good at the exact same things as my wife. So I feel like God, I don't know, God, I feel like God has like made us in the image of him in such a unique way that we can't possibly embody all of that God is. So he's made us like different facets of his personality, different facets of his image. So I know like my gifts are very different from Sean's, but like he also made my spouse's gifts different from me, and like Maya's gifts different from Sean. I think that is a very beautiful thing from this verse as well, in that God just saw what Adam needed. Like God saw like what he needed in a helpmeet. And I think that's what we need to find as well. Is like who helps meet those needs as well. And I I love the puzzle analogy. I always use that puzzle analogy to say you need to find someone who's the right fit. But I do feel like it misses some things in that I notice sometimes we have to sometimes we're not the perfect fit, like we're rough around the edges, so we do have to like smooth out some parts so we do fit better together. And it's like an ongoing it's almost like an ongoing journey to like fit better as we go throughout life. Like if I were the same puzzle piece throughout my entire marriage, I did something very wrong. Like I know I've had to like I'm actually kind of a mean person, like jokingly mean, not like spiteful mean, but like I found out very quickly like that my wife just doesn't like that, so that's a part I had to smooth out. So it's like my puzzle piece had to like smooth out a little bit for for her. I think that's the beautiful thing about like yeah, God doesn't give you the perfect person when you get married as well. Like he gives you someone that you can grow with and like grow to be the perfect person from them, or perfectly imperfect, I guess you can say.
Man, I can't talk no more, man.
Man, sorry. I feel like I've gone off a tangent. I feel like when I moved away from your life first. I'm sorry about that.
Man, you could
Sometimes
just
I'll just like start talking and I'm just ranting about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking.
nah, you're fine. It still has to do with it. You can end the video though. Like, you got anything else you want to say about that?
Oh, let's see. Oh, for the verse. Oh, let me think. I feel like I did have something to say that you were saying. Let me read the verse real fast.
Hey, what,
Oh. Being married sounds very complicated. Oh yeah, it is. But I feel like that's the beautiful part. If no one saw the comment, it says like being married sounds very complicated, and it is. But that's the beautiful part of it too. Is like you have to work for that happiness, and that's what makes it more worthwhile. It's like I don't know. It's like working hard at something and just like uh finding the reward or just finding like you're in the same place as your spouse. So I really like that. Yeah. Yeah, see. No, you don't want me to keep talking. I'll talk forever.
No, no. He told me to stop talking.
Oh, tell him you talk. Yeah, you need to say something. We can hear you.
No, it's bad though. Like,
Oh, it's fine.
yeah, you can't hear it. You'll hear it on the playback.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, to me you sound fine.
No, not to them.
Ah, sorry, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to wrap it up, I can go through the closer if you want. I think I've heard it enough times that I think I could do it.
You don't have anything else to say? You good?
I do feel like I will give like a counterpoint to it too. Don't rush like don't rush trying to be with somebody. I think Sean showed the verse already. It's better to be alone in the attic than in a house full of woe, like partnered in a house full of woe. Because if you do rush, if you try to find someone, if you find someone that's not a good fit for you or someone that God doesn't potentially have for you, like it is better to be off alone, honestly. It's just something you don't want to rush, because if you wait, if you actually find somebody when you're not trying more. And like I don't know, it's like you want to wait for the person God has for you, not try to find like the discount version of who you think will make you happy, because that always leads to a lot of complications. So I guess that's the flip side. I feel like, yeah, God has someone for you, but you don't want to rush that. All right, I think that's all I had to say though. All right, well, this has been Sean Jenkins and Justin Howell. If you really like our videos, be sure to visit Sean's page, Uplift Crossroads. He's on pretty much every social media imaginable. He's got his YouTube series. I think this will probably be added to one of his playlists as well. I know we've got, oh yeah, life verses. So man, Sean has some of the best life verses, including this one, Genesis 2:18. You can also check him out on Twitter, X, Instagram. Oh, there you go. What else you got? Tumblr, Facebook, LinkedIn. Just add him anywhere. If you have a question or if you have a topic, be sure to DM him. A lot of times we love like answering your questions, so just shoot him or me a DM. You can friend us on Facebook, Sean Christopher Jenkins or Justin Lee Howell. I've also got a YouTube page, Chaplain's Log. It's pretty much just full of me and Sean. I used to do some other videos, but no, I'm the Barnabas to Sean's Paul right now. So that's just where I'm at, and I love it though. Like, man, it's doing videos with Sean has been like always a highlight for my week. But man, with the baby coming, I may be slowing down. We'll see. But otherwise, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the questions. I hope we get some good ones for some future topics. But otherwise, thanks for joining, and y'all stay blessed. Did I end well? That's my first time ending. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's my Chaplain's Log. See you guys. Oh yeah, I forgot it. I get that thumbs up thing. Sean doesn't get that. I don't know why I get it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it moves.